HK 17+1 retro kits for your magazines. Let's check it out. Most full-size firearms carry 15 rounds. There are some exceptions like the Glock 17, which holds 17, and there are others that do have a little bit of a higher mag capacity. But pretty much the standard has been 15 rounds. HK just introduced their retrofit kit that'll take your standard 15 round magazine for your VP9 or for your P30 and move it up to 17 rounds. But the real advantage is you're moving it up to 17 rounds, but there is no grip extension, there's no magazine base that's hanging off the bottom. And to me, that is a huge plus, and really where we should be going. And we're also going to take a look at some higher capacity options. Guys, I'm a huge fan of HK, whether it's their P30, which is one of my all-time favorites, and then we have the VP9, which came a little bit later. This is a double single action pistol, and then you have your striker fire pistol with the VP9, and then I have one of the long slide versions. I have the SK. I have the SK with the B model, which is not the paddle design, but the standard release, mag release right here on the frame. I prefer the paddle myself, but also both of my sons, that was the choice that they wanted, were VP9s. So each one has a VP9. And there's a lot of great features about these, but that's not really what this video is about. You can check out the full review. I have it annotated above on all these different handguns. But one of the great things about the P30 and the VP9 is that they use the same magazine. So we're going to go ahead and drop our magazine. It's a 15+1. Check the chamber. All these have been checked. In fact, this one was loaded because I was keeping this on my bedside table. But it's really good to go ahead and check. As far as these magazines, though, they're really high quality. The magazines are riveted toward the back, and they're just made in Germany, as you can see right here, and they're just solid. Kind of a rubberized base plate. But one funny thing is that these are 15 rounds, and that's what your Glock 19 is, 15, but your Glock 17, 17 rounds. And now you're seeing all these advancements with these micro 9s that are high capacity, going from 10 to 15 rounds in a much smaller pistol. So really these kind of guns, the larger frame guns, need to kind of upgrade. Now the VP9 is just a touch bigger than your Glock 19, so it's not quite the size of a Glock 17, but it's a heck of a lot bigger than your SIG P365. And so really to compete, you need to have a little more mag capacity. But one thing about it, when I want to say compete, is that really these full-size guns, to me, if I was going to go into a self-defense situation or whatever, I would much rather have a full-size firearm with me because it just handles better, it's just quicker to get on target, and I just would prefer that. Now the kits, as you can see, they come just in these bags. In fact, these just showed up. Now, I do some things with HK every once in a while, so I wasn't totally shocked, but I didn't get any word that these were coming. And I found it really interesting. These are the retrofit mags, or I should say kits. It has all the parts you need to be able to retrofit your standard 15-round magazine into a 17-round magazine. With the kit, you get your spring. It's a little bit longer than the standard 15-round spring. You get your follower, you get a base plate, and you get your locking plate. You also get your instructions in German and in English. Now it's really easy to do, and it's just part of your standard maintenance to keep your magazines clean, or if you ever need to change out your springs. With your base plate, take a small punch, and there's a little locking plate plug right here. Just push down. Be careful and bring out your base plate. Keep your thumb on that spring. And then we just pull out our existing 15 round spring. I would hold on to these, just put them away, and if you ever have any problems, you've always got this backup. If you'll notice on the base plate, the 17 round base plate has a small little dimple in it. It has a little bit of a larger little shelf right here. I don't know that it really makes a lot of difference, but it is a little bit thicker. So I would go ahead and make sure you use that 17 round base plate that's specific for this kit. Here you can see the spring is quite a bit longer with the 17 rounder, and then here is the 15 round spring. Now on top is your 15 round follower, and it's shorter. They've removed this area right here, probably gives it a little more surface for the spring, but definitely some changes have been made, even at the front here. It's a little bit smaller on the sides, and then even this back part that fits down the base of your magazine. It's a little bit smaller on the new piece. Now here with the locking plate, the 15 rounders on the left and the new ones on the right, there is a lip that kind of comes up. It's a little bit thicker in this area. I mean, you can just see there are just some slight differences between these two. There is a dimple on the 17 rounder, and this, when you put your punch in, this one just has a flat surface. And this one looks a little bit more shiny. Of course, this one's been used quite a bit. So you want to make sure you keep your parts separated, and now's a good time to go in and clean your magazine and just get the body cleaned out. Next, we're going to take our follower and we're going to go ahead and place it onto the spring. It actually fits over the 15 round follower, so this one just kind of sits up in there. There it goes. It snaps in, but it's a very small little snap. Go ahead and put in your spring, bring in your locking plate. Now you'll notice with the locking plate you have the beveled at the front, and then you have the flat square surface at the back. That way you'll know which way it goes. Just kind of snap it in, bring it down. Now there's tension on this spring obviously, so you just want to hold your finger down on it while you're pulling over your base plate. That's it. Once it pops over, then you're captured and you're good to go. It's really simple. Now just so I can keep up with it, I'm going to mark my magazines. Just want to know which one's which. It's going to be something really simple. I'm just going to put a 17. You can put whatever you want to. You can just mark it with a dot, but at least that way I know these are the 17 rounders. We brought about 300 rounds down to the range just to do an initial test, and we really appreciate Fiocchi for sponsoring the ammo, all made in the USA. This is 115 grain full metal jacket. We found that these magazines on the HK feed about anything. Also, we really appreciate Lula Loaders for saving our thumbs, especially with these extra 2 rounds. All right, we're going to start out with the first magazine, VP9. We'll check and see the function. Good to go so far. Now let's try it the P30. They use the same exact magazines, but we're just going to do it for fun. Man, that P30 is smooth like butter, especially with that LEM trigger. As far as the range testing, we only shot about 300 rounds through the VP9, the P30, and then the VP9 long slide. Pretty much straight up, it just functioned. And they're HK factory mags, and they should function. One thing that we did notice was that with the magazine, this is the 17 rounder, it really throws out the magazine. I mean, it just really, it jettisons this thing. With a 15 round magazine, yeah, it does pretty good. I mean, it comes out, but you can tell there's a definite increase in force with this magazine coming out with the 17 round kit in it. So just a little bit of an added bonus. Now, one issue that I had was when firing in an odd position, I was kneeling behind a barrier. And after finishing the last round, it didn't hold open. Because of the slide stop being a little bit elongated right here, that can be a problem with your VP9s and your P30s for that matter. And they are ambidextrous. In the way that I ride my hand, I have in the past hit that slide release and kept it from holding back. I've shot these quite a bit, so I've kind of gotten used to it. But I think that was the problem, because then once I pulled the slide back, I mean, it locked back. So definitely that can be something, but really overall these magazines work great, and I really expected them to because they're HK factory mags. Now we're going to try the 21 round Xtec tactical mag in the VP9 long slide. Works like it always has. Now the price on the 15 to 17 round retrofit kit is $14.99. I think that HK actually is offering these as a 17 round magazine, and I think they're $49.99, which is the standard price for your 15 round magazine. These are 21 round magazines from Xtec Tactical. They're just an extension on a HK P30 or VP9 mag. And it just fits right on. Again, it's 21 rounds. And they also make some really good quality HK compatible mags. This is one of the magazines from Xtec Tactical, and we put the 6-round extension on it. And they're just very well done. We've done a lot of testing with not only the 21 rounders, but also their 15 rounders. And they also have kits available. So, you know, if you're into HK, whether it's the P30 or the VP9, you know, it just kind of gives you a lot more options. And it's great to see HK come out with German-made factory magazine components. You know, $49.95 is expensive, but, you know, it's HK, and HK typically ends up being that way. But check out Xtec Tactical as well. I mean, they have a really great line of different products, and for the VP9 and the P30. So guys, if you want to take your VP9 or your P30 and up it to 17 rounds, it's an easy way to do it, fairly inexpensive. And also, if you want to go on up to 21 rounds or 20 rounds, HK does offer a number of different options. But it's great to see that flush fit. I like that. No increase in the grip length, and yet you have those 2 extra rounds. And then again, you want to bump it up to 21 rounds, check out Xtec Tactical as well. Rubber Dummies is one of the best training tools on the market, and you get a 10% discount using Suit00 when you click the link down in the description. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America, long live the Republic. And we're also going to take a look, whoops, plate. We're going to push it down, move your follow. Okay. So when I pulled the slide back on the empty mag, it held open just fine. Okay. So guys, if you want to take your VP9 or your VP, okay, or you can go with the Beast. Many of your full-size firearms definitely, okay, easy exchange. Just the parts